Here we go. Woo!
Oh my God! Get to the point where you gotta like break it out, man.
It lets you go in a four-wheel slide there. Like it really does feel like an 8-speed DCT.
Yeah.
Welcome to beautiful Toronto Motorsports Park, where we're here today to test what might be the most interesting EV in the world, the Hyundai Ionic 5N. That's right, guys, I said it, this might be the most interesting EV in the world, at least to me, because when this first came out, I just absolutely loved the styling of it. It's got this, I don't know, 80s meets futuristic styling, and when you look at the performance numbers on it, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And this is not going to be a full, detailed breakdown of all the specs on this car. If you want like a typical, car reviewer type of review, then go check out the Straight Pipes, Throttle House. All the big reviewers have done very detailed breakdowns on this car. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to find out how much fun is it, and most importantly, how much fun is it around a racetrack, because this is a 4,800 pound CUV-ish type of vehicle, but it makes 600 horsepower, 641 with that NGB button, so it should be pretty darn quick. So without rattling on any further, let's just jump in the car and take it for a rip.
All right, everybody, time for something a little different. A hot lap with a passenger, and not just any passenger either.
I'm gonna hopefully hang in here.
So I'm gonna give you the full launch here.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm hard on the pedal.
Yep.
Here we go. Woo!
Oh
my God! Oh wow!
That is
intense.
Rocket ship.
That is
oh my
intense.
God, DP.
I have no idea where to brake.
That's okay.
So let's get this done. This weighs 4,860 pounds.
Right. Well, that was what? That was 600 horsepower, wasn't it? Not 640?
That's right. I didn't use the NGB button for the extra 40 to go to 641.
Wow.
We'll try that on the next lap. But wow, this thing feels really at home on the racetrack. Like, I'm blown away by how well it controls all this weight. It doesn't feel like a 4,800 pound car.
It really doesn't. Wow.
Holy cow.
Oh, feel that rotation with the back end just like...
The wipers are coming on.
Yeah.
That's probably just me spazzing out. It's got torque like a mountain of it. My God. It's just...
How are the brakes?
The brakes feel really good. They feel very responsive and powerful. Like, that was kind of my worry, is that, are we going to have enough brake?
Man, this thing picks up.
I don't want to go into ice mode here, though. So.
And it's so deceiving how fast it is.
Oh my God, it's so fast.
Because there's no engine noise.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of left with this idea that you can feel it. And that,
It is rapid, eh? Holy cow.
Wow, is it ever?
It's a lot of fun. The suspension tuning really controls the mass exceptionally well. All right, let's get on it.
Hit the button, DP. Hit
the button.
No, you gotta hold it.
I gotta hold it. I'm holding it. Oh, I gotta hit it again. Now I'm holding it. I don't know what I'm doing.
All right, well, it's fast enough for me already. Wow.
Let's try the button on this straightaway here. Hold on.
Wow. You can feel the motors though really like doing their thing, right?
You can.
But look at the speed. Like, that does not feel like it's moving quick until you get to the point where you gotta like break it out, man.
It lets you go in a four-wheel slide there. Like, wow, it's letting me have some fun, like really play with it. Like, I get the rear end to rotate there.
That's what I'm noticing. Like, you can really get this thing to come around.
Man.
But the vectoring is noticeable.
It is, but it lets you slip it, so it feels natural.
Yes.
But then it saves you if it's going to swing too much. It straightens you out. But it does it really seamlessly. Like, it doesn't feel like it's intrusive.
My goodness, man.
Wow, this thing is
so fast.
Holy cow, and the brakes are powerful when you really stand on the pedal.
I've never heard so much tire noise in my entire life, because you usually listen to an engine and an exhaust and everything else, but it's like you really understand how much the tires are working on.
It is a workout on these tires. They can take a 275.
Holy smokes, man.
What a rapid machine.
Wow.
My God. Well,
wow, DP.
It is a machine. It is a machine.
And we just went a 119.25.
Wow.
That is...
I mean, this car will easily dip into the 117s. I bet if we got your dead weight out here and just like pounded on it, but that's not what we're here to do.
No.
Like that is already a really rapid lap time.
Let's just preface that 119.25 by it's the first time you've driven this car.
Yep.
You know, it is as stock as it is.
Yep.
No, we didn't even check tire pressures.
No,
and wow.
Yeah. And I wasn't using the NGB in an optimized way. Like there is so much time left on the table. This thing is really, really fast.
But let's not, fast is one thing. Fun factor, man,
Yes.
for an EV.
Yes.
And I think you could speak to this because you've driven, you know,
The Model 3
the Model 3
Performance
here
and the Plaid as
with,
well.
Yeah, with, you know, a bunch of mods from Mountain Pass.
That's right, yes.
What do you think?
I mean, this is a much more playful car to me than anything I've tried from Tesla. It just feels like the N Division has gone to great lengths to make it feel like a sports car. And you kind of forget that it's an EV in the sense that it has such good chassis dynamics. So like, for example, in the Tesla, unless you install Mountain Pass's party box, it won't let you get full power while the steering wheel has any steering angle in it at all.
Right,
so you have to like fully unwind the steering before you get full power in a Tesla, unless you modify it. This bone stock was giving me all kinds of slip angle. So it was letting me rotate the car, get it turned, and then go to full power. It was never cutting the throttle anywhere.
True race mode.
Like true race mode.
Yeah.
But there was still some electronic trickery going on in the background to like straighten it out if I was in too big a slide.
Right.
Which I like because it felt like, okay, I can really chuck this in hard and it's gonna save me if I'm being a dumbass.
Yes.
But it's letting me rotate it in a really effective way to get it turned early in the corner and back to full power. So it's like really, really impressive stuff.
And it's remarkable to feel the vectoring, the motors with the wheels and all of everything that's going on.
Yes.
It is truly, there's a lot going on in the background.
There is.
When you're driving this vehicle.
There is.
That is.
But it's integrated
so
really
impressive.
well.
Yeah.
It's integrated very well, and the whole driving experience feels much more natural, much more intuitive to what I'm used to driving on a racetrack.
Yeah.
So I never felt like I was fighting against the technology. I felt like it was working with me.
Yeah.
Where in an unmodified Tesla, I always felt like I was having to drive around the technology because it was fighting me. So I was having to like figure out the tricks to get the most out of it.
Yeah.
With this, it's just like, no, man, this thing wants to party. It wants you to give it everything. And it's been tuned in a way where it just lets you have fun.
Yeah.
Like, what a fun car. It's amazing.
That was a heck of a lap. And you don't even have it in the fake shift mode, right?
No, I don't. We can turn that on, I think.
There we go. See that?
I love this. It actually kind of sounds like an Elantra N to me.
Yeah.
Instead of going with like a V8 or a Formula One engine sound,
Man.
they've kind of gone with like, you know, what their other N cars sound like in a way.
See, like this is super neat. Oh, the fact that they got the shifts to feel lifelike to me is I think the coolest thing.
It really does feel like an 8-speed DCT. Like it gives you that little torque cut, the little shake it gives you.
Yeah.
It's very convincing.
Oh.
And I like the sound. Like it does kind of make you feel more connected to the car in a way. It just like we're suddenly driving an 8-speed Elantra N with an extra 400 horsepower or whatever.
Oh my goodness.
It's so cool.
It is so cool. That is so cool. And the ability to drive the car this way and the other way, really, it does feel almost like two different cars right now.
Exactly. You've paid for one car, but you've really gotten one, like a bipolar car with many personalities. And I mean that in a good way because it just gives you stuff to experience and play around with, depending on the mood you're in or what kind of road you're driving on. It just really gives you a little bit of everything. And as a road car, like you and I have both driven it for a couple of days on the road.
Yes, yeah.
I think it's a very comfortable, very livable car on the street. It's not damped too stiffly.
No, it's not. Actually, it is very livable. However, driving it on the street with this mode, I don't love it.
Yeah.
Truthfully, as an EV, it really is blissful in a sense of
well, then I'll kill it for you.
See, like that, right?
One button and it's off.
Yeah, and it's just like this to me is what you want as the road going setup. But when you squeeze on it, it's just.
And if I take it out of N mode, I'll put it back into I'll put it into normal mode here. It'll be nice and quiet and smooth.
Yeah, and it's a really good daily driver as well.
It's
and it doesn't sacrifice much.
Exactly.
In that sense, and that now seeing it on the racetrack, like this is the definition of a dual purpose EV, right? I think this is probably the first one out there on the market that is like this, right? So
I think it's the first true like sports car EV in a sense that it has the personality of a sports car.
Yes.
It has the utility of, this is essentially like a CUV sized vehicle, I would say.
Yeah.
So, you get that utility, but you also get the performance of a sport focused EV.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable. And
no.
I also find that the way they've done all their tech integration, the screens, the buttons on the steering wheel, the radio and HVAC controls, I find it all very intuitive to use. Like, to me, this was a much more car-like intuitive experience because they've given you buttons. Things are kind of where I'm used to them.
This feels more like a car where, and I hate to say this, the Model 3 feels more of an appliance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's truly like the steering wheel on this car is race bred, like all the buttons, where they are, it truly gives you that whole sense of like this is a performance vehicle, right?
Yeah, I think these are the seats and the steering wheel like right out of the Elantra N.
Yeah.
So, and the seating position's excellent. Like you're not sitting up high the way you typically would be in an SUV.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you're in a sports car. And then when you jump out and you look at this like amazing, funky sort of 80s meets the future body style, you're like, what a cool package.
It is. It really is. It's a compelling package.
Wow, guys, this thing certainly lived up to my expectations. Actually, I would have to say it far exceeded my expectations. It is an absolute rocket ship around the racetrack. That 119 lap time is just like touching the very, potential of it. It'll easily go 117s around here without Peter in there distracting me and with me really like learning the limits of it in the braking zone and the corners. This is a properly rapid car, and it can do 2 laps around the Nürburgring, which is like, 35 or 40 kilometers before it sees any drop off in battery performance. Really impressed by all the efforts that Hyundai's N Division went to with this car, not only to give it durability and performance on the racetrack, but the fun factor. Like, to me, this is a truly playful, enjoyable EV sports car that could also do double duty as a family hauler. Like, it's got a ton of rear legroom, it's got a decent sized trunk, it's very comfortable in normal mode cruising on the street. So this thing does it all, and it does it remarkably well. I think the only knock I can offer on it is I had some challenges charging it at public charge stations here in Ontario. And if you want to go on a deep dive of that, then again, go to the straight pipes, because every time they test an EV, they do struggle a bit with the charging infrastructure here in Ontario. But if you put a home charger in, I think you would have very few times where you really run into any difficulties, and it's got plenty of range without having to publicly charge it often. So, wow, what a machine. I love the way it looks. I love the way it drives. I know Pete wants one, so who knows, maybe you'll be seeing more Ionic 5N on the channel. You'll have to stay tuned to find out, and maybe even consider hitting that subscribe button and that like button so that you don't miss any future fun EV content or K-Swap Miata content or BMWs. Peter likes to ruin those too. So do sign up, follow along, and hope to see you guys in the next one.